Welcome into the Six Man Sports Network. This is Cover 3 coming to you just like we do every week here, right here on the Six Man Sports Network. So drop a like, drop a share on the stream, and by all means, follow us on Facebook. And then work your way over to YouTube and subscribe to us on YouTube as well. I'm Killer Davis, behind the scenes, our super producer, Antonio Yates. And with us, as always, is Chris, the originator, Draper. Chris, a lot to get into tonight because I think we finally seen things shake out the way they should in a certain area. But first, man, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. You know what it is, man. Had a good weekend. Visited some folks in Charlotte. You know what I mean. We didn't have
Mm-hmm.
no game on Friday. We had a game on Thursday. So
Yeah.
I had a decent weekend, man. Got with some family, got with some friends. You know what I'm saying. Had a really good weekend, bro. What about you?
Same as well. Celebrating Mardi Gras a little bit, Mardi Gras Valentine's Day together a
Okay,
little bit at the
okay,
same time as
okay,
well. So had a
okay.
good little libacious weekend, if you will. If you will to say
Hey,
libacious weekend. But nah,
hey.
but speaking of, just having good times are somewhat coming to an end here if you want to talk about regular season basketball as it's winding down. But that just means it's really getting started because we're finally getting
Oh, for
closer and
sure.
closer, closer and closer, closer and closer to them playoffs. But Chris, it's about time that something that we've seen go down with the VHSL PowerPoints, something that a team that we've had number one, well, that I've had number one, you've had number two
I had
against
him at number
other
two.
teams.
Yeah.
Man, I'm talking about what's going down in Region 2C and the topic we're going to call to see or not to see as, yeah, I like my puns, if you will, as we got new power rankings adjustments in in the Three Rivers District. I'm talking about Martinsville, the Martinsville Bulldogs, taking over the number one spot from Liberty Bedford after they suffered a loss. Liberty Bedford sliding to two, Floyd County at three, Nelson County, um, correct me if I'm wrong here because it's been on top of my head, Nelson County at four. Then you got
Yep. No, you're
Danville at
right.
five,
For
Rapid
sure.
at six,
Yes, sir.
Gretna at seven,
Yeah.
and Glenver at eight. That just shows
Yeah.
how much I
Country
really just
Wayne
lived in
voice.
that job. Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, man,
Yeah.
so Martinsville's taking over at this point, and it's all I gotta say, Chris. It's about time that the PowerPoints really kind of work themselves
Reflected it.
out. But it took a little bit of help from Liberty Bedford taking a couple of losses.
Yeah, Liberty Bedford taking a couple of those losses last week, whether it was to EC Glass, and they lost to Jefferson Forest, which that's an unexpected loss that I didn't really have accounted for. So those two losses
Mm-hmm.
tend to knock you down, and you don't get but so many points for those. You don't get the same amount of points that, of course, if you would win or if you would beat a 2A team. To be honest with you, you don't get the same amount of points. So those two losses basically put Martinsville up. Now, don't get me wrong though. I think
Not
Liberty
out of the
does
woods.
have now. Liberty's not listen. Liberty just beat Rustburg tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They beat them by two. They will play LCA again. So this is the thing. Martinsville plays Radford and Floyd. And with Martinsville playing Radford and Floyd, they realistically, even if they get those wins, cannot really gain any points, to be honest with you. Like in a sense of like you're
It'll
basically
be minuscule if
yeah,
they get
yeah,
what they
yeah,
gain.
it's very minuscule. You're gonna catch 6 points. That's it. Possibly you could go down. You could go from 6.1 to
Mm-hmm.
6.09. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Martinsville, it's a possibility here that let's say Martinsville wins, and if LCA and excuse me, if Liberty can beat Rustburg. If they can win against LCA, they can climb right back to that number one spot, and Martinsville could get the number two, just because LCA is a 418. So that's a possibility there. You know what I'm saying with that? You know what I mean? All the other teams, for the most part, like Martinsville would have to lose about two games
Right.
realistically to really get knocked off that pedestal. You know what I mean? If they went 1-1 this week, the most they could get down to is third, but those are situations that have to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you got to think Floyd's got to beat them, and then Floyd's got to win out. Floyd's got Patrick County. They beat them. They got Patrick County twice. They got Glenver. They got Martinsville. So you got to think with Floyd beating Patrick County today, and they'll face Patrick County again this week. They're going to play Glenver. They're going to play Martinsville. All those games are at home. So and Floyd is undefeated at the crib. So all of this, and even with Nelson, Nelson cannot creep into the number one nor the number two spot. necessarily. They could probably
Mm-hmm.
keep creep into the number three though. Nelson could creep into the number three because Nelson just beat Dan River. And given Smith Mountain Lake's record, given what Smith Mountain Lake has done, most likely Nelson's going to win out. But Nelson, sadly, and this is not a benefit, but they benefit from playing weaker classification of teams. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what's hurt Nelson all year. And Nelson is a team that I don't think anybody wants to see first round, second round, or championship for the most part. But
Right.
regardless, because these are the top four teams I think we had, honestly. At least I
Mm-hmm.
had. I had it Martinsville, Liberty, Floyd, Nelson. Now I didn't have it
Actually, I didn't
necessarily in
have
that
Liberty in my
order.
job.
I
I
think
don't
you
think I
did.
had. I didn't see Liberty
Not at the
coming
beginning, right?
in Region
Not at the
Four,
beginning.
in Region Two C.
Yeah.
Not until they won maybe like they were still undefeated, maybe 10 games into the season. I
I
didn't see
think
Liberty
I think
coming.
I no, I did. I did for the most part because I kept up just a little bit. So if you're looking back at mine, I did. These were
Mm-hmm.
my top four
Yeah, I ain't
teams.
see. I ain't have them in
Um,
there.
and you know what's bad about this when it comes to these Region 2C playoffs? Like, in my personal opinion, whoever comes out of Region 2C is winning a state championship. That's my
Mm-hmm.
personal opinion. Other than when they have to look, the hardest matchup that you're going to face, in my personal opinion, in Region 2A is Graham. Graham
Mm-hmm.
is a very tough matchup. So Graham wants to get back to that state championship. If it's the same as it was last year, the Region 2C champion will face off against I guess the Region 2B or the Region 2A champion, or the loser, or whatever. So we're gonna see exactly how that goes this year. So I'm telling you, Region 2C normally when you've had this in the past with the Radfords, with the Martinsvilles, with the Gate cities out there, these different teams. Normally, whoever, especially and Gate City's not in there, but I was just including them. But when it comes to 2C, whoever comes out of this particular region tends to go to the state championship, tends to go to the state final, honestly tends to win it because there is no John Marshall anymore. It's kind of perfect timing for a lot of these teams. And to be honest with you, any of these teams, in my personal opinion, could win it, like a Martinsville, a Liberty, a Floyd, and a Nelson. But I think Martinsville, to me, is the favorite. As far as it's up to them. It's really up to them. If they go in and handle business like they've been handling all season long, whether it be on a neutral floor or somebody else's, it is tough for me to see them losing. For the most part, especially if they got, like I told you, if they got their three guys on the floor, it's a
Right.
tough cover. It's a tough
Right.
cover.
I mean, let's be real here. When they playing other 2A schools, it's not been close. It's not been fair. Um,
Facts.
and and when I look at it too, when you're looking at how things can shake up, if I'm Martinsville, I really do want to see Nelson County get that three spot, get that third seed, just because I want to see who Nelson County really is. Like, if you want to play Nelson County, I want to see them after they play a Floyd or after they play a Liberty Bedford, just to see what level of competition they really at. Like
Right.
what you really hitting for, because don't I still don't know, Chris. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I watched some of the highlights, watched some of the game tape, and I still really don't know. And it's not to no fault of theirs. It's more so to the fault of I can't really judge you based on some of the competition you're playing. But I see that you have the pieces and the tools to be a top tier team. And of course, you're not just gonna win and win and win like they have and not
Right.
be, one of those teams that can do that. But it's just the only thing holding you back is your strength of schedule and seeing what you've done there. But that's what makes them scary. That's what makes them scary as a team. But other than that, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I've watched Graham. I'm not scared. If I'm Liberty, if I'm Martinsville, and if probably Nelson County as well, I'm not scared of Graham. So
Well,
I do think anybody coming out can handle, how I put it. After you come out of 2C, I don't think you're going to see any lesser competition.
oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. That's why I look at it like this, man. Martinsville, listen, if Martinsville would have played in the Piedmont district, they would be prepared when it comes to class size and when it comes to points. Wouldn't even have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about the points. They would have had the first seed. They could have lost a few games, just like Liberty Bedford could have lost a few games and still had the first seed. But for me, the Three Rivers has prepared Martinsville just because of the style of play when it comes to
Right.
Floyd's, Glenvers, Radfords, when it comes to those certain teams and how they have played Martinsville, how they have approached Martinsville. I think Martinsville is better prepared for a Liberty Bedford or even for a Nelson County. Now, Nelson County, that's a little bit of a size differential, but
Mm-hmm.
from the perspective defensively, especially the guard matchup, the ability to switch, the advantage goes to Martinsville in the guard category. Now, those two bigs that they have, Bryce and Colton. Now, Bryce running the point guard, and then Colton in the inside. That is a duo. That is a formidable duo that they could see in the second round. That could pose matchup problems, and I'm sure Gary Hall is fully aware, as is Teron Watson. He's fully aware of the guard play that Martinsville has. So, should that matchup happen second round, that is a very interesting matchup. That is a styles make fights matchup, in my
Right.
personal opinion. But normally, as I have said the entire year, and I'll stand on this, I'll die on this hill. Guard play tends to win you in high school basketball. Defense travels for the most part, which that's why Nelson County has been so good. But the bad part about Nelson County is it's not that they aren't prepared, because they prepare over the summer, of course. It's not that they aren't battle tested for the most part. It's just that some of their wins have come against teams of lesser classifications, which hurt them. And then, in my personal opinion, being in the Dogwood district, that Dogwood district to me is not like, if I had to, let's say, rank the districts. We were talking about this off the
Mm-hmm.
air, on the Dan River Gretna game. If I had to rank the districts, bro, I'm going River Ridge first all the way, because River Ridge is the most competitive district by far that we have seen that we cover. That we cover. I want people to understand
Mm-hmm.
that we cover. And then I would probably have to go. I mean, other than Martinsville, for the most part, I would say the Three Rivers and the Seminole are kind
Mm-hmm.
of like neck and neck. But maybe, to be honest with you, we've been sleeping on the Blue Ridge. So the Blue Ridge competitively might be just a little bit above. We just seen William Fleming has been head and shoulders, and then Franklin County tends to creep in. William Byrd, Lord Botetourt. But so I would like to say, just give a little shout out to the Blue Ridge for the most part. The Blue Ridge probably could creep in, honestly, right where a little bit above the Three Rivers. Just because we don't keep up with, just because we don't say them for the most part on the Six Man Sports Network, doesn't mean that they aren't just as competitive. You know what I mean? For the most part. So I just want to make sure to keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
I will see.
But
I got
then
to
you
go the
got,
other way because I got to go Three
yeah,
Rivers ahead of them because it
that's what
just
I'm saying. Like
when I'm looking at the
that's a
regional
close one.
when I look at the
Yeah,
region impact and how many teams from and I know it's not as many teams going into their region as you got, but just how many teams are sitting at the top because you got Floyd, Rafford, and Martinsville sitting in your top
right.
four. That's River Ridge dominance to me a little bit, but that is not to sleep on the Blue Ridge because I'm with you as well. The Blue
What
Ridge did get off to a shaky start,
for
but
sure.
they're top heavy, really, really up there
Well,
at the
that's
top
and that's
when you got William Fleming in there.
and that's just like the Seminole district. To me, the Seminole district
Mm-hmm.
is very top heavy. You got, of course, you got Glass that is head and shoulders above everybody. And let me say it like this. I don't want to say exactly super head and shoulders, because LCA was very formidable, gave Glass two
Yeah.
really good games, almost beat Glass both games, but almost only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. So Glass
Mm-hmm.
got it at the end of the day. Then it's LCA, then it's Liberty Bedford. And of course, man, some of these games that they have played, I mean, look, Heritage has played Glass really close. That's a rivalry matchup. Heritage has played a lot of teams close. Amherst County, Brookville, and Rustburg. These teams have played close. So the fact of the matter is, I want to liken everybody in that same category. River Ridge is head and shoulders competitively when it comes to basketball in the
Yep.
Southwest. Competitively, it is the best region, because on any given night, you can take that L. To me, right after that, I want to stack these teams. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would
Mm-hmm.
do. I would stack these teams. And then I would put probably like Dogwood, and then the Piedmont District to me would be last. The Piedmont District to me would be last, because I feel like GW Danville pretty much runs it, along with a little bit of Halifax coming in, Mecklenburg County, and right now, Bassett and Magna Vista, they're having some down years, but they're still fighting to possibly make playoff appearances in the Region 3D. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, man, so like I said, I got River Ridge first, and I don't think anybody can truly debate me as far as the River Ridge, because the only team in the River Ridge that is having basically a down year for the most part, that isn't as competitive as they would like to be, is Blacksburg. Because
Mm-hmm.
Pulaski has been a very good team that has racked up some solid wins, although they've lost to some competition as well. Pulaski is a team that's in that's going to be in that Region 3D when we talk about it, that you ain't gonna want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
and before we don't jump over there, we do have a huge matchup between the 1 and 3 coming up on Wednesday in Region Two
yeah.
C. Jump better Region Two C. Gonna have a 1 and 3 matchup there
Mhm.
with Martinsville and
Oh
Floyd
man.
County. Um, be real quick, I don't got much to do like I did the last time. Like it's the only difference is we're playing in Floyd, so I don't really see that being that much of a difference though, because we've been traveling throughout the rest, and let's say we, I mean, in Martinsville, we've been traveling throughout the rest of the Three Rivers District, and hadn't skipped a beat. So I'm looking to see much more of the same here, especially for Martinsville getting to kind of wash that taste out of their mouth after the last time they went up to Floyd. This one may be feeling a little bit more glorious as it was the last time they played down here when it was what, like a almost 30-point win, or was it a 30-point win?
28, 66,
28.
38.
Yep.
Yeah. Kendall. So I say it like this. I got Martinsville winning, of course. But with that being said, it ain't gonna be no 28-point win. They're gonna have to get in there and they're gonna have to handle business for real from the jump. Because Floyd, undefeated and probably have been for the last couple of years, to be honest with you, Martinsville is gonna really have to come in there and take over that trap. That building is going to be packed. I'm sure the fans are gonna be there. Probably gonna be one of the best student sections we're gonna see all year. And man, like they just came off a game against Patrick County. They stomped them out, and then they came out against a game against Radford where they got the dub. Radford fans don't really like how they got the dub, but they got it regardless. You know what I'm saying? To them, it was controversial. To Floyd, it's a dub at the end of the day. So
Right.
Floyd, man, this is one of the, like I said, to me, there are a couple places that are very hard to get wins, and I think everybody would like to be like, well, our home floor is hard to get wins. I don't really adhere to that. You know what I'm saying? It's very
Mm-hmm.
hard in the doghouse, hostile environment most of the time. The people, you know what I'm saying? When I say hostile, man, basically what I mean is crowds all over you. You know what I'm saying? It's when it gets jam packed. It's to me, it's the best place to play in the state of Virginia, and this
It
coming
is.
from somebody
You
who
know, you
did
know, you
not
can't.
play for Martinsville.
You literally can't replicate what you got in Martinsville. I know we're talking about
Oh, you
Martinsville
can't.
going on the road, but down to the
Yeah,
hardwood floors, I found this out. You can't replicate. They don't make hardwood floors like the original ones they have right now in Martinsville High School at their gym. You just can't
on some
replicate
Boston
it. Can't
Celtic type
replicate the
stuff.
feel.
Duke.
Yeah, like bro, it's. I'm like, dang. I already knew it's a House of Champions, but now you're looking at it like that.
That's
But look, either way though, either way,
either way,
the
I think
hardwood
it
don't
will be
travel
a
up the
closer
floors.
game. I think it'll be a
Yeah.
closer game, bro, in my personal opinion. Now, you remember in the first half of the game at Martinsville, it was very close. Martinsville just ran away with it. I do think Martinsville is looking to make a statement at Floyd. Listen, I don't think they're just coming in just to get a win. I think they want to continue to make
Mm-hmm.
statements. And I think those statements, honestly, are more so against Floyd. This is kind of like we stepped into your district as Martinsville and
Mm-hmm.
we came to take it over and ain't no looking back from here. You know what I mean? That's to me because I think Martinsville first. Now I know Martinsville does not really the city, the school doesn't really care about district champions, just
Mm-hmm.
district championships. But it's been a minute since Martinsville can call themselves a district champion. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
think Martinsville wants to be able to call themselves district champion, region champion. There is no skipping steps. It's one at a time. Now, I think that even should they lose, if they lost the next two games, right? To me, I mean, at the end of the day, they'd still be district champions given the amount of
Mm-hmm.
losses the other teams have. Floyd having three losses within that district, and then everybody else losing all around. Martinsville still gets it, and they still are able to call themselves district champions. But I think Martinsville wants a clean sweep, one game at a time. Clean sweep. They want to be able to call themselves district champions, and then they're going to focus. Because, like Zay Tinsley said at the beginning of that interview we did with him, when Martinsville played GW Danville, it was more so
Mm-hmm.
one game at a time. That's the only thing we look at. So I think it's us who hype these games up, but to them it's like that's just the next opponent. You know what I'm saying? That's just the next one
Exactly.
that I'm coming for. And to be honest with you, Floyd County, they want their revenge, bro. You know, at the end of the day, Brian Harmon, Noah Farley, all those guys, Gavin Swartzel, they want that get back. And none other than get it at Floyd. They want to send Martinsville. They may not win the district championship this year because of record, but they want them to know they want that game to be a fluke at the end of the day. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what kind of, being undefeated on your home floor, protecting your home floor at Floyd. And then, of course, Martinsville, the way they've dominated on the road, they've only lost 2 games on the road at the end of the day. They've lost 1 game at home, that was the South Lakes. And then on the road, it was GW and Green Run. Remember that?
Right.
That's it. 3 losses on the season. Floyd has 3 losses on the season. So listen, like I said on my Facebook post, it's one thing to beat somebody at your crib. It's another thing to beat somebody at somebody else's crib. Walk into your trap, take over your trap. So we're going to see. Can Floyd County hold down home court? Or is Martinsville walking in that trap, taking over that trap? End of the day.
Martinsville. Let us know in the chat. Floyd, let us
for
know
sure.
in the chat what you think is going to be going down on Wednesday. But regardless, we're going to be live with it on the Six Man Sports Network, on YouTube and on Facebook. Chris, I'm telling chat, you need to get to YouTube. YouTube is where,
Right.
hey,
come on, run them subscriptions up, man. Come on now.
YouTube is where it's at. You need to go over there and subscribe. I ain't gonna cap on Facebook. I love you. You hold it down. But at the end of the day, man, look, YouTube, I can be watching on YouTube, then I can go over there and text somebody and I don't have to miss a play. Or I can just go ahead, hit a little screen share up there, pull it up on the TV real quick, pull it up on that Roku or whatever y'all got, the Fire Stick, pull that joint up there 1 second, pull it up there like that. So like you said, better.
I liked YouTube too, bro. I really did.
Multiple ways to view what you want to see from the Six Man Sports Network. But with that being said, we don't just got to focus on the 2C. We got other regions to run through our last power trip of the season. As we got, we're going to start off with Region 4, with Region 4D.
Yeah, man.
Start off with Region 4D there. Start off in the South side. First off, you got Glass.
Of course.
Second place, you got Salem. Third place, you got GW. Fourth place, you got Halifax. And fifth place, you got Amherst. 4 and 5 are going to play the play-in game.
Yep.
Chris. Man, okay. So to me, this is like that type of bracket where everything's going to shake up the way it should is when you play in the bracket. Like, I don't really see any kind of situations where you have like a Nelson County that's going to be a lower seed, but really going to be able to play up there with the higher seed folks. In this situation, I do see where, say if it was GW versus Halifax one more time in the playoffs, you may be looking at like kind of an upset situation there because I think Halifax could have that number. Here, though, going into it, man, I just really think I can't wait till we get down to that Glass and Salem matchup because I think that's one that's been eluding us. And I think that's one that to be real, if I had to choose like a playoff game, a Glass and Salem game is very attractive.
Yes, sir. It's just finding out when those dates align. You know what I mean? Just because we're so heavy on Region 2C right now, and we want to make sure we cover the hometown first. That's how we've always been when we covered Magna Vista. We do represent when our hometown is in that type of a fight. We tend to navigate and grab it, and we tend to I want to say gravitate, but I know that ain't a gosh darn word. But at the end of the day, bro, we tend to navigate towards them. Oh, it is, say less. But anyways, we tend to navigate towards them. We make no bones about that, man. We make sure to cover every school that we can cover. But if Martinsville is headed to a championship, we're gonna make sure to hit that. We're gonna make sure to get that. But you know me, I mean, we got a Glass following, we got a Salem following. So at the end of the day, I'd love to see that game. And I'd love to roll to the zoo. And I'm sure that Coach Best would welcome us with open arms, especially how much I have highly touted EC Glass this entire season. So everybody can know they ain't playing no games. None. Matter of fact, they ain't playing so many games that to me, you might as well chalk this up. Region 4D belongs to them. I done touted them all day. Region 4D belongs,
North and South?
North and South.
North, South, East, West.
North
EC
and
Glass
South.
the best.
East, West. No. EC Glass the best. No, for sure. No, man. In my personal opinion, when it comes to this Region 4D, it belongs to EC Glass. It's going to run through EC Glass. So they're going to be able to host the game for the most part. They're going to be able to host like 2 games, bro, because they're 20-0. They're going to be able to host the first game, which is going to be between like a Halifax and an Amherst County right now, given nothing happens. to Amherst County and at Jefferson Forest. We don't know the
Mm-hmm.
head-to-heads in that matchup. We don't know what games they have left either. But that 4 and that 5 play on Friday. That's when it starts for the region for Region 4D. And then coming up, it's like I think it's like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of ordeal. And that's what you got to be careful for right there, man. Because like I said, man, I think a lot of these region matchups are on these same dates. You know what I'm saying? So of course we'll have
Mm-hmm.
highlights of these, but of course Six Man would love to pull up to at least two championship games. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I'd love to get it ready with you and Antonio for us to slide, to the championship game. Whoever comes out Region 2C, and then of course we'd love to slide to 4D and 3D. Want to show y'all some love too. Them games is at Northside. So if everything could align, the Six Man would realistically, let's be real. We love to pull up to three championship games if we could. That would be amazing. You know what I'm saying? Just because I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants us to cover, but we will have highlights of this. That's why if you've seen it, it ain't really been slow on our page necessarily,
Yeah.
graphics and everything like that. But your boy kind of loading up. Videographers on
Mm-hmm.
standby just for the playoffs. It's about to get real, for real. It's
So
about to go crazy.
so in that matchup there, I definitely see the matchups going down that way, barring a major upset. Like say I mean, it's very well possible that GW could step up and have Salem's number on that
Oh, for
night.
sure.
Because you
Yeah,
never know what Kobe Morris is gonna pop out with.
he
But
dropped 40.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He could pop out and be on fire like that night. But at the end of the day, I just see this ending up being Glass versus Salem, and I do have to give that edge to Glass simply because of how they played other teams that Salem has played, and also as well
Hmm.
just the way Glass has continued to dominate and it's continued to be that number two in my top two from the power ratings. Now, or you mentioned them already, Region 3D. I know Hidden Valley is sitting up at the top, followed by Christiansburg. Can you go through the rest for me?
Oh yeah, for sure, big dog. Abingdon, Tunstall. I mean, excuse me. So coming in at number three, Cave Spring. Four, Abingdon. Five, Tunstall. Pulaski County at number six. North side of number seven. Lower by the side of number eight. I think you got some playing games at Region 3D. If it was just like last year, so you got Williamsburg, Carroll, and then Bassett. So hometown team Bassett's trying to creep in. Want a bit of a playoff game here, but then the way this kind of sets up, it could get a little bit confusing because it's going to be the lesser seed versus the top seed, of course. So, if Bassett's able to creep in, which I think they're able to creep into the playoffs in a play-in game, then you're seeing Hidden Valley first, at the end of the day.
Mm,
So, but to me, like I told you, like you said, like we've mentioned all season, the River Ridge owns Region 3D.
3D.
And there was a
Yep.
and there was a matchup tonight that just happened. Christiansburg, Cave Spring. Christiansburg walked into Cave Spring and got the win 80-68. That's
Oh
their
wow.
first win against Cave Spring. They lost it earlier on their home floor. So bro, I'm telling you right now, that's a matchup you could see in the semifinal of Region 3D. That's the 2 and the 3. You know what I mean? You can see that again. And I'm telling you, it's already 1-1. So that's a trilogy happening right there. But to me, it just Hidden Valley seems like the favorite right now with what they've had going on, and I think it'll be a
Hmm.
River Ridge championship. It's going to be tough to convince me otherwise. With the River Ridge is just well prepared, and it's still going to be a lot of like it's going to be some River Ridge matchups. I mean, even in the first round, it's Cave Spring versus Pulaski, and who's had Cave Spring number this year has been Pulaski. You know what
Pulaski.
I
Yep.
mean? So it's the matchups, man. So that's listen, I'm saying, Coach Bruce wants that matchup first. He ain't ducking no smoke. He want that matchup off the rip. He want that get back. But at the same time, and it's tough to beat a team three times, but at the same time, that is a team that has had your number. They understand how to beat you. So at the same time, bro, that's a team that's had your number. And it's a tough ask in the first round. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then but you got Christiansburg versus Northside. That's a size difference to me. You know what I'm saying? I just think Christiansburg is going to have that head and shoulders, and then Hidden Valley versus Lower Botetourt, just an easier matchup for me. And then Abington Tunstall might be the tougher one because Tunstall has been underneath the radar this entire year, but they do have to travel to Abington to get a win. And the last time they traveled to Abington is when my boy Dedrick Rogers was playing and when DeMarcus Morrison was coaching at Tunstall. They took that L
Hmm.
to Abington, bro. So Abington has not been kind to Tunstall at the end of the day.
I see this really playing out as Christiansburg being a school that I would be scared of if I was the rest of them.
Right,
If I was the rest
right. They clicking at
of
the right
Region Two,
time.
they're clicking at the right time. I believe they're healthy. I believe they went through some health issues as well at one point through the season as well. So Christiansburg is one of those teams that's scary. Like with the tools that they have on the team, the height, the size they have on
Mm-hmm.
the team, and the versatility, that makes Christiansburg a very scary team. However, Hidden Valley is one of those teams where, dang, I wish I could have seen them. I wish I could have seen them with my own eyes because Hidden Valley to me is just an overall well-rounded team. And I do think I would look at them to be the favorites in any of these matchups, whether it be Cave Springs, whether it be Christiansburg. However, I am always leery of trying to win that third game. For some reason, I when a team isn't the dominant team, like if I'm looking at Martinsville playing a different team, you know, a third game don't really mean anything to me. But when it comes to a matchup where I could see it going either way, because correct me if I'm wrong, Hidden Valley has beaten Christiansburg twice, correct?
Yeah, Hidden Valley
Yeah,
has beat Christiansburg.
so
They've owned
when I
pretty much every matchup except
yeah
for, the Patrick Henry matchup.
yeah, so when I look at that kind of matchup there, it does kind of scare me a little bit that you're going to be playing them a third time. However, Hidden Valley to me is just on another level in Region 3D to where I think they should be able to coast to win this until they're gonna go up against a team that has a McDonald's All American on it later on in the state playoffs.
You
That's
sound like a
where
kid.
that's
Yeah.
where it gets a little that's where it gets a little shaky later
Hey,
on in the state
just like the
playoffs.
John
But
Marshall, same thing, bro. At the end of the day, yeah, hey,
hey,
Petersburg got this. But
it's
listen,
just
no,
3A's
listen, no
turn,
team is unbeatable. I did see
right?
Petersburg get beat this year a few times, but the competition was on another level at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you
Mm-hmm.
right now, Christiansburg is gonna be really formidable in the future. You wanna listen, if you're an opposing coach right now, you know what's coming. Sophomores all over this squad. You
Mm-hmm.
want to get them out the way now. You better get them out the way now. The six
Mm-hmm.
man about to be covering them at least for the next two. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Lord willing, you know what I'm saying? Network continues to stay afloat. God keeps blessing us. But at the same time, bro, Christiansburg is one of those teams you want to knock them off right now. Because if you don't, bro, Kevin Cox and them ain't doing nothing but gaining confidence at the end of the day. So come on now.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. So yeah, that is our we touched them all. Oh, and then Region 3C, we have that as well.
Now
Okay.
we waiting on that.
No, I
You know
got
what I'm
I
saying?
got
Your boy,
through I got through off on Region 3. No, no, no.
yeah,
What
yeah,
happened
yeah.
was I
Your
got
boy,
through
your
off on
boy,
Region
your boy
3D and
waiting
3C.
on that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I,
If y'all
you know
if
what
y'all
I'm
can't
saying?
tell, I'm on my phone. I don't got everything in
Oh
front
no,
of me
no,
right now.
Kendall
So
out
I'm
here
kind of
thugging.
spitting off the top of my head. So
Oh no, Kendall out here thugging for real.
so with
Y'all,
that
hey,
being said, I'm gonna really be thugging through this Power Six to make sure it matches up with what I said Antonio. Because right now,
right? He like,
right
shoot, did I
now
send
it's
Antonio the right thing? Oh
well, now I'm
snap.
trying to remember what I put, god dog,
Uh-huh.
because they be moving every week. Because
Mm-hmm.
I had a team drop out last week and I had another team drop out the week before. It's different every week. And then I had
Mm-hmm.
another team move up too. But with that being said, Power Six rankings. Man, Chris, at one point it used to be we started off at the bottom and worked our way up to number one. But at this
Oh,
point,
it
if you're
ain't.
watching the Six Man Sports, if you don't know our one and two, then you don't
Bruh.
watch the Six
It
Man
ain't
Sports
changed.
Network.
For sure.
But my number one is what it is Martinsville.
For sure.
I Martinsville to me is the best team that we cover in this area. Now, with that being said, there's no slight to class because I do think if they did play a matchup, it's like a single digit. If I had to do the point spread, it'd probably be like a negative point one Martinsville like
Oof.
1.5 favorite. You know what I mean? Like it's that tight to where you wouldn't even put money on it. However, Martinsville's ability and I guess even putting them in 2C, being favored to win Region 2A and put them in that classification as well is the reason why I had them up there too. Maybe getting a little bit of booster points for being 2A. We've seen 2A teams handle 4A teams pretty easily. When you look at certain ones throughout this season, when you look at what Gretna even just did to GW, when you look at what when you look at what Martinsville has been able to do, and then Liberty
Well,
Bethel.
no,
The
hold on.
Martinsville,
Somebody got me wrong on that one, so I want to make sure I hit
oh,
you on the show.
okay.
They
I was
have
about to say
not
I
played.
got
They
wrong
have
information.
not played. They have not played
I
yet.
got wrong. I
So
got wrong
Wednesday
information.
we'll
I
have them
apologize.
highlights. Gretna versus GW. I wanted to help my
I
man's out
apologize.
because somebody hit me up and I thought that they said Gretna beat GW. when
Okay.
they were just really saying Gretna over GW. They were
Okay.
calling it. They were saying like, okay, Gretna's gonna beat GW, and that
I
messed me
got you.
all up. So I'm sitting there looking at look, bro. I ain't even get. I'm sitting there looking at Max Preps, looking for the scores, looking everywhere. I'm like, where this game at? You know what I'm saying?
When
Like,
it
hold
happened.
up, when it
So
happened. You know what I'm saying? But it
and
will happen
this is the
Wednesday. We had the
section that if
highlights.
we won't live, this is the section that we won't live. We just would have cut that
Oh yeah,
out.
we would have
But
chopped that
be
jump. You
that
know what I'm
as it
saying?
may though, be
Hey,
that as
say
it may,
less.
make it a long way to say
Information. Information.
Martinsville with Zay Tinsley, Amari Foster, Imari Tinsley. You know, then you got your support players, your role players who can all go and shoot from three, shoot from deep. Martinsville to me is just too deep, too well coached, too much athleticism on the defensive end as well. Athleticism and length that really disrupts what teams usually try to get into. Well, look, I gotta just have Martinsville like number one and bar none. My favorite to win state. My favorite to actually win. If we were to put a tournament together and have all of our power six into one, I would have Martinsville to be my favorite to win it.
That's tough. That's tough. So listen, I'm not changing. I'm not reneging. Glass got my number one off the rip. So it's just Glass just possesses too much on their team for me to not be number one. The strength of schedule, for the most part, the quality wins. And I would say this, I think if we went through quality wins for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, if that was our only, if that was our only standard for the most part, River Ridge might be taking over this entire like Power
Mm-hmm.
Six. You know what I mean? River Ridge, EC Glass, LCA, those type of teams would take over the Power Six for the most part. That's stuff I look at. But it's eye test for me too. When you got 28 guards, you hear me? Sophomores that'll get all up in you, that'll force you to not be in the paint, that'll get all up on you on the perimeter, that'll make sure to get transition, get them knocked down, they can catch and shoot, they can beat you off the dribble, they can create their own shot, get all up in you defensively. And listen, if they let you go to the cup, you getting swatted. You changing everything about your shot because Brock Hall back there. You feel what I'm saying? And bro, they got it all. At the end of the day, they can win any type of way, whether it's close, whether they blowing you out, whether they playing bad, bro, their style of play, their identity, Coach Best got them moving, and he ain't stopping, to be honest with you. So they should be favorites for a 4A state championship, in all honesty. So I'm just telling you, because they my favorites in Region 4D at the end of the day. I got to check everything else out, though. I just got to look around, and
Yeah.
it's eye test for me. It's strength of schedule for me. It's quality wins for me. They check all my boxes for that number one. That's just my personal opinion. They check all my boxes for that number one. And shoot, like I said, you know what I mean? Look, Kendall could be wearing a Martinsville shirt. I wear a Glass shirt, and y'all know where I'm from. But listen, at the end of the day, I call a spade a spade. I done got a few wrong on here, but I don't know if I'm getting that one wrong off the rip. Would have loved to have seen that matchup though. I would have
Would
loved to
have,
have
man.
seen that matchup, bro. And you know, I think Coach Best he would have came to the doghouse. I know that for sure. He would have came to the doghouse. You know what I'm saying? Gary Hall would have welcomed him with open arms. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of fellowship going on right there at two powerhouse
Look,
teams.
I just want some
And
city
then
on city action, man.
yes, sir. Some city, hey,
Some
because you
city
know
on
how to
city
look.
action, man.
You know how I get down. Listen,
Yeah,
you want
man.
to figure out who the best city that the six man cover at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Roanoke? Is it Danville? Is it Martinsville? Or is it Lynchburg? Y'all
Mm-hmm.
jump in the chat. Y'all gotta let us know. Y'all might want to see these matchups. If you got some matchups you want to see, you need to let us know. We might put up some polls or whatever. But I'm telling you, Glass my number one. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Now, with number two, for those reasons, I got Glass at number two. I don't think anybody else on this list is touching the number one and number two. Look,
Right.
Glass to me, they got the wins on their resume to prove it. They got the talent on the squad. Like you said, they're young, bro. The guard play is young, just 10th graders, man. Like,
Bro, he
and
losing one player next year. That's it.
how quick the guard play is what's scary too. How quick and the dynamics of the guard play of being able to one attack the rim, but also two being able to use the jump shot to be able to be a good
Yep.
equalizer. I think they're very well rounded. I got them at the two spot.
You know, I got Martinsville at the two spot. It's eye test for me with Martinsville. At the end of the day, they showed me what it was earlier in the season when they played G Dub, and then they showed me
Mm-hmm.
again when they knocked off Floyd. So to me, after that, I ain't had no qualms, no reservations about Martinsville whatsoever. Mentally as tough as they need to be, they know how to get wins on the road. They know how to adapt. Gary Hall has done a fantastic job with that team. Three players on the floor to me that they have one on one, bro, they go right at your neck. I'm telling you, they're hard. They're the hardest to cover, in my personal opinion, when it comes to one on one. I need to have a one on one 6 man challenge for real, and just have an invite. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Right.
mean? For real, I'm
To see who
serious
get the
about that.
dub.
And see who get the dub. You know what I'm saying? Now listen, I will throw my man Isaac Smith in the hat. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. As my thought process, as far as we talking Virginia, we get to talking about some North
Yeah.
Carolina. Then I had to. But anyways. Martinsville's my number two. Fantastic job all season. It's eye test for me because when it comes to quality wins for Martinsville against some of these other teams that are in our polls, Martinsville doesn't have the super
Hmm.
quality of wins like these other teams, given the district that they're in. They don't have the quality of wins for the River Ridge, and they don't have
Hmm.
the quality of wins like an EC Glass has or an LCA has, in my personal opinion. But eye test for me shows me that they can match up with anybody across the board, and they got people that listen. I put them on an island, you can't cover them. They can play bad and still beat you. That is always the mark
Hmm.
to me of a really good team. When you can play, when you don't have your best shooting night, when you don't have your best night offensively, but the defense continues to travel, you really have to stop Martinsville from getting in the paint, and that's not easy. A lot of teams have gone zone, they've still failed. So that's why I say Martinsville is very well prepared. I got Martinsville number two.
And my number three, I got PH, Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry coming in number three. I think they finally talking about a team just clicking at the right time. I do think that they have found their consistency, found their stride. I go with PH at number three.
So it's very hard for me. It's going back and forth. If you checked out my on Dan Rivers broadcast, I said that PH was my number three. I'm gonna stick with PH at my number three, but to me, 3 and 4 are right there neck and neck. They're pretty much the same in my personal opinion. PH just has garnered some wins. They had some losses I really didn't like at the beginning of the year, but of course, throughout the second half of the season, they've been really dominant. The only loss that they've truly taken is against Salem. So they've been really dominant. They just came off winning the River Ridge just now, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Either they won it or they're co-champs with Hidden Valley. But they did get the head-to-head matchups against Hidden Valley. So and their season's over with. They're about to be heading into the playoffs. Unless there's a game that's not on the schedule for them. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you gotta think at the end of the day, um, they've racked up some really good wins, and the only team that they haven't beaten in River Ridge that has had their number is Salem. Everybody else they just pretty much ran through. So Salem had their number, and they were able to beat William Fleming as well. William Fleming is another team that definitely could creep into my Power Six. William Fleming is a very formidable foe at the same time, and William Fleming looks like they're probably going to win the Blue Ridge District. So
Hmm.
with that being said, bro, I just think PH is number three with the amount of wins that they have, the schedule that they've had, and they're gonna. And Darian Williams, he probably, if I had a vote, which I do feel like media need to have a vote. I'm just being real with you.
Hmm.
Y'all need to let media sit down at the table with the coaches every now and then. You feel me? But at the same time, man, Darian Williams probably would be my player of the year in the River Ridge District. If they win it, he's got my player of the year vote. Him and a little slide vote for Tavon Jumper too, for real. Yep.
All right. Number four spot, I got Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley coming
Okay.
in my fourth spot. Uh,
Okay.
and I, they're finishing number two or co-champions in the River Ridge District. And with that being said, to me, they've been a solid team and a team that's had to earn this position in my eyes. Like they went on start off undefeated. I think they were 10-0, and we were looking like, man, like should Hidden Valley be up here? Like hold up, like are they getting an honorable mention? But then they just kept it going and going and going throughout the season. I like the tools that Hidden Valley has size wise, blanking on y'all's names, but I like the size that they have over there at Hidden Valley, and also just like how consistent they've been throughout the year. So I got Hidden Valley in my fourth spot.
This is just tough for me. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, because like I said, Hidden Valley does, they might be co-champions, but that's where to me a head-to-head matchup matters with them and PH. So to me, it's definitely tough because I'm sitting here choosing between Hidden Valley and LCA, but I'm not gonna move LCA too far. So respectfully, I'm gonna say my 3, 4, and my five are very tight, right? Like these are
Right.
all interchangeable instead of 4 and 5. So I want y'all to know this, but I'm gonna put LCA at number 4, quality of wins. Not saying Hidden Valley doesn't have the quality because they're in the River Ridge district, but
Mm-hmm.
strength of schedule, LCA has the best strength of schedule by far. It's not even close. Eye test. How they've matched up with Glass tells me everything I need to know. If I got Glass at my number
Mm-hmm.
one, the team that matched up with them that could have blemished that number one record, that 20-0 record that Glass has, and beat a major team in
Mm-hmm.
3A that, to be honest with you, is actually one of the favorites to meet Petersburg, which is Western Albemarle. They beat them. They may be in the HC, but that's just because of the amount of private schools that they played. And I don't think VHSL gives you points for private schools, you know what I'm saying, that are actually really
Right.
good. LCA's got to come in at my number 4 spot. Like I said, eye test, strength of schedule, and quality wins definitely matter to me on those. And those quality wins are just as high as anybody else's in this entire, if not higher than most people's in this Power Six. So LCA.
Well, in my 5 spot, I got Salem. I got Salem here, and the reason why I got Salem there is because again, River Ridge. I think the River Ridge has been so tight and so tightly contested that if Salem were in a different region, similar to like maybe the similar region, like the similar where it's top heavy, or if they're in another region, like the PD,
Transferable.
I think, yeah, I think that they just easily clear that region and handle that region, and we look at them a lot differently because they don't have to play as stiff competition as they had throughout the whole district play. But to me, I do give the win. I know it's hard because I did see them lose to Case Springs twice, but then again, we're looking at a district where we see just teams have teams numbers, and that doesn't just happen in high school ball. It happens in college ball. It just happens in ball. Period. When it comes to basketball, certain teams just have your numbers and matchups. But all in all, just what I've seen for Salem put on the floor, seen them play the best. I got to go with Salem in the 5 spot.
5 spot. Still going. I'm going Hidden Valley just because Hidden Valley has the matchup over Salem right now. So I'm going Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley strength of schedule. River Ridge transferable. I told y'all it's a lot of River Ridge in our Power Six because River
Mm-hmm.
Ridge is just that strong, just that competitive. And to me, River Ridge, they're going to be very competitive in the playoffs, tough outs for most teams, even win some of their respective regions, with the exception of, like we said, if you checked out earlier, is a possible Salem versus Glass matchup. That's a really good matchup, but Glass is the number one team in my power rankings. But Hidden Valley to me is number 5, and like I said, I might as well just go ahead and say that 3 through 6 for me could, like I said, look, I keep
Mm-hmm.
looking at it, but I'm looking at its strength. Like
Like it all could
it's
go.
just so transferable, bro. Like if you're a River Ridge team, in my personal opinion, especially that top 4, I think they could go to any district whatsoever, rack up
Mm-hmm.
wins, and either be number 1 or number 2 in said district, in my
Mm-hmm.
personal opinion. In the Seminole, they're number 2. In the Piedmont district, they could be number 1. In the
Mm-hmm.
Three Rivers district, I think they could compete for number 1, in my personal opinion. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like it's going to give Martinsville one of their tougher matchups for the most part. Um, in the what's another one of the districts we cover? I said Seminole. I said what, the Piedmont. I said Three Rivers. Blue Ridge. Well, Blue Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen what they've done to the Blue Ridge for the most part, but Blue Ridge has been competitive too, and they're going to keep it a competitive matchup. But just for me, River Ridge teams, and I mean, easily we could have put the way Christiansburg has played.
Right.
They could easily, and they get to, and look, they get to show and improve again because they play Salem again at the end of this week. You know what I'm saying? So they get to show and improve again, and they could knock a few off. But number 5 is Hidden Valley.
Coming in at my number 6, I got LCA. LCA to me is one of those teams that could jump off. Like when I see the highlights, when I see what they put on the floor, when I see their game film, it don't make sense why I got them at 6. But I gotta go like, but at
That's
the
just the
same
strength
time,
of the
because
strength of the
but like
Power Six,
I
though.
think I do, yeah, I do think though that when it comes to certain matchups, I don't necessarily give LCA the advantage. However, I think LCA is a very, very, very strong team who, like, man, if they were to go up against a PH, I could see that being a different game as opposed to if they were to go up against a Hidden Valley. Like, I just see that matchups kind of making more of a fight there.
Hmm.
But LCA to me is a very, very, very scary team. And I really just can't wait to see what they put together in the state playoffs, because I do think that they can make a run through their region and end up in the state playoffs.
What's crazy is I think they can make a run, but that first matchup, listen, if they knock that first matchup out the way, that's a rematch. That's a trilogy once
Mm-hmm.
again with Western Albemarle. I haven't seen the PowerPoints yet, but as of the last time that I saw the PowerPoints, it was number one and they were number 8 against Western Albemarle. Now with the wins that they have set up for themselves, and I'm waiting on that Region 3C to pop into my inbox. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same, I could see them at number 7 and they'll make a run. And I think personally they would play like Rocktown or somebody like that. But they could probably get to the finals against Western Albemarle given their strength of schedule. Because listen, competition helps a team out. When
Mm-hmm.
you've already seen really good competition, you've already played it, hostile environments, whatever. When you've done certain things, you're more than prepared. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's what I would see. But at my number 6, it's going to be Salem. Salem's going to cap off my power 6 at 6 because Salem has continued to be consistent. Salem has been one of the most formidable teams. Cave Spring has had their number. Hidden Valley has beat them once. I can't remember if Hidden Valley's beat them twice. They may play Hidden Valley one more time. I could stand corrected. I kind of really quick want to look that up. I'm looking up as we speak real quick because I know I can hit that. I know I had it on Max Preps really fast. So let me look at this real quick, Kendall, on the schedule. I just pulled up the schedule. Nope. They play Hidden Valley tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They play Hidden Valley tomorrow. So with them playing Hidden, I knew that Hidden Valley had beat them one time. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Hidden Valley beat them one time. I can't remember if they beat them again. So now they get to, hey, that's a power 6 matchup. You know what I'm saying? I might have to, I might have to hit up a videographer right now, make sure. Oh, we got it. Never mind. I just see it. Bro, like I be hit. Look, sometimes, man, I get stopped in.
We got it.
Bro, sometimes I be forgetting that I even had it. Like I be like, oh, okay, oh, we got that game.
But
My
Chris,
bad.
so I think our power 6. Look, this is our final power 6 of the regular season, but I think we finally got a settle down on our power 6 to have all the same teams in there to end the season. I think this is probably the most, for me at least, it's probably the most serious power 6 I've had, because I've been playing around with my 6th spot. But but no,
No,
I
no,
think
this
we
the
have seen
you've been
these
playing.
teams kind
Yeah,
of
you
shake out and
definitely been
find
playing
themselves
around with
around.
that 6th spot. But I think,
Yeah, I've been playing around
but
with
I,
the 6th spot a lot,
but I,
but it's all
but
good.
bro, I think you've been able to see. You've been playing around it. You've been giving teams opportunities and chances, which is
Mm-hmm.
amazing for that 6 spot for real. Just putting onus on them and giving them the man, words are eluding me right now because it is almost 1 a.m. It is time for me to go to
Right.
bed. You know what I'm saying? So,
But they're
what I'm
getting the
saying? But
opportunity though.
yeah,
They're getting the
there you
opportunity
go.
and the
There
chance to
you go. They
shine.
getting opportunity and they getting showcased through what we're saying at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So I think you're giving them far more opportunity, man, because you had Dan River in that power 6, you've had Liberty Bedford in that power 6. You were the first to put Hidden Valley in there. To be honest with you, got to give you credit on that.
Mm-hmm.
So Hidden Valley definitely came up off of
But
that.
then
I
they
think,
lost up out of it though. Like
yeah,
that was
yeah,
like
yeah,
then
yeah.
they lost up out of it. They had to
And
put
then they came
Christiansburg in
right
there. Then
back
they had
in,
put
but you know,
then they got
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
bro.
I don't know. You might have. I think we both have
I
put
had
Cave
Cave Springs in
Spring
there.
in. We put
Yeah,
Cave Spring
Cave
in there
Springs was
too.
up in there early.
Yeah, yeah. I think, bro, when we first started it, of course we had Floyd, we had Nelson in that mug for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But I think, to be honest with you, I'm gonna say this. I put my power 6, your power 6, right now as it currently stands against anybody's in the region. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who it is. I call them out. All smoke. Say what you want. Whether it be WDBJ7, WSLS, WFXR, all of them. You know what I'm saying? I think that we have the best power 6, Kendall. Just being honest with you. What's your thoughts?
I think so as well. Look,
But
I done
they but
seen
they
shout
get
out
to
to
they get to
District.
hit about 10. They get to hit about 7 or 10
I
on
was about
them
to say
things,
District.
though.
I done seen District 2 Sports put about
District 2
12 on their
Sports.
team. District 2.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
hey,
like,
they
no,
they
come
do a
on. Like, can
fantastic
I put
job
up
too.
12?
And listen,
I was like,
when
yeah.
when I say this, don't clip me all that. I'm saying, listen, I want all the smoke, of course, but still credit and love to all those guys. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
just
saying? Because
competitive smoke, bro.
everybody,
Just
just
competitive
competitive
workforce.
smoke.
Right?
You
Yeah,
know what
just
I mean?
competitive.
Like
Look,
I think we do a good job covering, man, for real. I think we're
yeah.
blessed to do.
But with that being said, though, Chris, think it's time to wrap on up cover 3 for the regular season basketball, because
Sleep,
next time we all see us on cover 3, it will be
night night.
time for playoff hoops. So with that being said, you're right. Need to get some rest. It's gonna be a long
CM
week.
Punk out here. Steph Curry.
For
Go
our
to
super
sleep.
producer,
God,
Antonio
GTS.
Yates, for me, Killer Davis, and then for the originator and founder of this company, Chris, the originator Draper.
Bro, I
We'll
like how
see
you say
y'all
that,
on
though.
Wednesday.
I like how you say that. Founder of this company. That
This
just
company.
hilarious,
We'll see
bro.
y'all. We'll see y'all on Wednesday at Floyd, as the Floyd Buffaloes will host the Martinsville Bulldogs. See you then. Don't forget, subscribe on
YouTube,
YouTube.
man.
Just search 6 Man
YouTube,
Sports
man.
Network.